Brisbane and Perth are absolutely dominating the property market right now. In the last 12 months, Brisbane housing value rose 16% and Perth rose 25%. To put that into perspective, if you owned a medium price property in Perth, you would have gained an average of $145,000 in value. It sounds like this is where you should be investing, right? Well, the answer to that is a bit more complicated than yes you should or no you shouldn't. While these markets are hot, historical data shows Perth's property value can be volatile, swinging with the resource sector performance. And Brisbane, despite its growth, still faces affordability pressures. So in this video, I'm going to give you a comprehensive overview of number 1, the key factors driving this growth and what could change. Number 2, the unique advantages and challenges each market presents for investors. And number 3, how to decide if now is the right time for you to invest in these cities. Ready? Let's go. Let's kick things off by looking at the trends at the time this video was recorded. Nationally, home values rose another 0.5% in July, matching the 0.5% increase recorded in June, and marking the 18th consecutive monthly increase. What has set Brisbane and Perth apart from the rest of the country is that in Brisbane, values rose another 1.1% in July, adding $9,820 to the median house value. In Perth, values rose by 2%, adding about $15,260 to the median house value. There are several factors driving this strong market performance in both cities, but let me narrow it down to the 6 main factors. For starters, one of the primary reasons for the booming markets in Brisbane and Perth is the significant imbalance between the supply and demand. In Brisbane, the number of properties available for sale is 34% below the 5-year average. Perth's inventory levels are even lower, with available supply more than 40% below the 5-year average. This severe shortage of listings is putting upward pressure on prices as buyers compete for limited stock. Secondly, compared to larger markets like Sydney and Melbourne, Brisbane and Perth offer relatively more affordable housing options. Brisbane's median house value of $937,000 is still cheaper than Sydney's median price of nearly $1.5 million, making it an attractive option for interstate buyers and investors. And despite persistently strong growth conditions, Perth home values remain relatively low compared with Australia's eastern capitals. Although the median value is at a record high of $757,000, only Hobart and Darwin have lower medians. Third, both cities are benefiting from positive demographic trends. Queensland and Western Australia are experiencing strong interstate migration, bringing more potential buyers to these markets, which in turn is adding to the ongoing housing demand in Brisbane and Perth. Another factor contributing to the demand is investor activity. Lower entry prices and strong rental yields are attracting investors to Brisbane and Perth. Over the last 12 months, Brisbane has seen a 5.7% increase in weekly housing rental prices, and Perth has seen a 10.7%. For Brisbane, the yield is around, and several suburbs in Perth are showing rental yields between 6 and 7%. Of course, the strong demand in these markets means the fresh inventory is being quickly absorbed. This keeps overall stock levels low and maintains upward pressure on prices. And lastly, local economic factors are also playing a role. Perth is benefiting from a resurgent mining sector, which is boosting the local economy and housing demand. Brisbane's diverse economy and infrastructure projects are supporting job growth and attracting new residents. So in summary, the combination of limited supply, relative affordability, population growth, investor interest, and favourable economic conditions is driving the remarkable performance of Brisbane and Perth property markets compared to other Australian cities. So all of this begs the question, is now the time to invest in either of these markets? Well, each has unique advantages and challenges, and you must consider them in light of historical context, as well as future predictions, not just what is happening right now. Brisbane has been experiencing a strong period of growth, with property values increasing by 55% over the last 4 years. As I mentioned earlier, the city's median house price currently sits at over $930,000, and projections for major banks like ANZ suggest further growth of 9 to 10% in 2024. This growth is underpinned by strong population expansion, with Brisbane expected to see 16% increase in residents in 2032. The city is also benefiting from major infrastructure development and a stable, diversifying economy, which are driving both property demand and economic prosperity. For investors, while the rental yield is not as high as some other markets, it's complemented by the city's consistent growth trajectory and relative affordability compared to Sydney and Melbourne. This makes Brisbane an attractive option for investors looking for steady, long-term appreciation in major metropolitan areas. On the other hand, Perth presents a different investment proposition. The city has seen remarkable growth recently, with a 25.6% increase in property values during and after the pandemic. The market has been particularly hot in the past year with a 23% growth rate. This surge is partly due to the significant undersupply of properties, with listings 40% below the 5-year average. One of Perth's most attractive features for investors is its solid rental yields, which ranges from 5 to 7% in many suburbs. This is considerably higher than what Brisbane offers. Additionally, Perth's property market could benefit from a potential upswing in the commodity supercycle over the next few decades, which could drive long-term growth due to Western Australia's resource-rich economy. But Perth's property market has shown historical volatility linked to resource sector performance. Recent data indicates that 36% of property transactions in Perth are now made by investors, which is approaching levels that could lead to market instability if trends continue upward. So in either case, you need to do thorough research into specific suburbs and properties, as both cities have diverse sub-markets with varying performance. The property market is complex and can be influenced by many factors, so I'll always recommend consulting with your local property experts and financial advisors before deciding. Your personal financial situation, investment timeline, and risk appetite should always influence which market best aligns with your investment strategy. So there you have it, a comprehensive overview of why Perth and Brisbane are currently leading Australia's property market boom. But the story doesn't end there. If you're particularly interested in Brisbane, you might wonder how it became Australia's second most expensive city. Well, we have a video for that too, and it details the specific factors that have driven Brisbane's rise to become the second most expensive city in the country. See you over there.